Hey friends, welcome back to the Cindy Grasso podcast. I'm so glad you're here and taking a little time out of your busy day to join me. This is a space where I talk about faith, the Bible, and how to grow closer to God. Today, we are going to talk about something that feels kind of upside down at first, but man, can it change your life? We are going to talk about finding freedom in surrender. Now, I get it. Freedom and surrender don't sound like they belong in the same sentence. Surrender feels like losing or giving up control, at least it does to me. And if you're anything like me, you like to have a good plan. I love a good plan. Makes me feel like a solid grip on things is safe. But what if the freedom your heart really longs for is found not in holding tighter, but actually in letting go? Think about the words of Jesus in Matthew 16:24 and 25. He says this: "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it." And he is talking about not doing, this isn't a role, it is a trust and it's a relationship. Because that's what a disciple is. A disciple is a learner. It is come follow me. When we say following Jesus, it is following Jesus to learn from Jesus how he relates to the Father, how he lives. It is this relationship with me. Let me teach you how to live. And so if you want to be his disciple, it says you must deny yourself and take up their cross and follow me. And that the cross, he is absolutely referencing the Roman cross that he did take for us. And it means dying to ourselves and following him. And then he says this thing that says, if you want to save your life, you'll lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will save it. Man, that's a paradox, right? Jesus is saying that to truly live, to find the full abundant life he offers, we have to release control. We have to surrender. We have to let go. And I get it. Surrender is hard because here's the truth. We don't like to lose control. I will be the first to admit that that is absolutely true. Taking control feels like security, feels like safety. Being in control feels like you have control and that maybe bad things won't happen. But the truth is, holding on to control can also be really, really heavy. Holding on to control and being a control freak, which I admit to, comes with anxiety. It's the pressure to fix everything and never falter. That's not freedom, that's exhaustion. I have lived that life. And in my relationship with Jesus, he has been so faithful to teach me how to trust him, to teach me that surrendering to him and letting go of control and receiving from him and trusting him is really where abundant life comes from. When Jesus invites us to surrender, he's inviting us to lay all of that down. He's inviting us to rest in him. He's saying, let me lead. Trust me with your life. Trust me with your relationships, your job, your future, your day. He's inviting us to trust him, not ourselves, to carry the weight of everything. And here's the key. When we release control, when we surrender our plans, our fears, and our need to handle it all, God does step in with something greater. And it's his supernatural peace. It's his power. It's his presence that leads to his perfect plan for our life. Now, what does that look like? How do you surrender? I love some practical steps, so I want to share some with you. First, surrender starts with acknowledging God's goodness and sovereignty. It's saying, God, I trust that you are for me, that you are good, and that you have a plan, even if I don't see it right now. It's starting with prayer, but not the rushed kind. I want to challenge you to sit with God, open your heart, and pour out all the things that you're holding on to tightly. He's listening. He loves you. He is for you. His plan for you is good, and he is good. He is trustworthy. How do we know that? Because if he sent his son Jesus to die a horrific death on the cross to set us free so that we could live forgiven, and living forgiven is one that we don't pay the cost of those sins, which is separation from God. And it's being set free to have a relationship with God, to have full access to all that God created us to have from the beginning. Jesus restored that. And so it is knowing that He is good and He can handle your life. He raised Jesus from the dead. Pretty sure He can handle what you're dealing with right now. The second thing, besides acknowledging God's goodness and sovereignty, is to choose humility. Surrender means acknowledging that we don't have all the answers. And, that was hard for me. I thought I had all the answers, and I thought I had to have all the answers. It is so freeing to come to a place where I go, I don't know. I don't have to have all the answers. I don't even know the plan. I know what we're doing today. I have a vision for tomorrow. I know what I want for my life, but I've surrendered that to God, and it is up to Him, His power, His love, His work in me, through me, in the world around me, that we're going to do this thing together. And so humility is freeing because I go, I don't have to know everything. Thank goodness for that, because I don't. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him. And submission, that is a military term that means to be a part of the mission of who's over you. That you are a part of creating something and you can trust that He's going to lead you in the right way. So, submission, we'll probably get to that on another podcast. It always felt like a bad word to me growing up. But man, now it is a trust word. It is a safety word that I can submit to God because I know how much He loves me and I am on the same mission as Him. And so it says, in all your ways, submit to Him and He will make your paths straight. So this is all about leaning on God's wisdom and not your own. So after acknowledging God's goodness and sovereignty and then choosing humility or just acknowledging humility, the third thing is surrender is an action. It's not a feeling. It's saying, Lord, this dream, this relationship, this situation, I'm giving it into your hands. I'm not going to try to control it anymore, and I'm not going to try to control the outcome. I'm going to trust you to lead and then follow through. Don't pick it back up. Give it to God. And, surrender is not a one-time thing either. It's not a one-time action. It is a surrendering to God in prayer and then letting it impact your actions, your relationships, your decisions, saying, well, I'm not going to control the outcome. I'm going to ask God for His outcome. Don't pick it back up. Don't grab it back out of that prayer. But again, surrender is not a one-time thing. It's a daily thing. And there is real freedom that comes with surrender and trusting Jesus. The freedom Jesus promises isn't just an abstract idea, it's real. When you surrender to Him, you'll start to feel the weight that you've been carrying your whole life lift. You will feel lighter, freer, because you're not carrying what you were never meant to carry. So, what fills the space when you surrender? It's peace, purpose, freedom. You're no longer living out of fear, but out of faith. No longer striving endlessly, but learning to rest in His love. No longer chasing things of this world, but walking in the life that God designed for you. Friends, what are you holding on today? What feels too big or too heavy? What's causing you sleepless nights or anxious days? Can I encourage you? Give it to God. Surrender doesn't happen all at once. It's a daily decision, and sometimes an hourly or minute by minute one. But each time you say, Lord, I trust you, I'm putting this in your hands, you're stepping into the freedom He promises. Jesus didn't come to burden you. He came to set you free. Free to live a life of connection with God, of meaning, of peace, no matter what the circumstances around you are. He is with you. This is a with God life. So why not take that first step right now? Maybe now, right now is the first time, or maybe another time, that you pray and tell Him, Lord, I surrender this to you. Show me how to trust you more. That is a prayer that I've prayed over and over and over again. And you just come to Him with whatever trust you have. I felt like I had a grain of sand worth of trust. But I said, God, I'm going to trust you this much. Help me trust you more. And that grain of sand has absolutely developed into a shore of sand that I have so many experiences where I can know, not just in faith, but in truth, that I can trust God. And when you trust God, you're also not just letting go of something, you're also stepping out in obedience when He asks you to do something different. I want to leave you with these words from Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. That's your invitation today, to be still, release control, and know that God's got you. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and I hope this encourages you to take that step of surrender and experience the peace and freedom that comes from it. If this episode blessed you, share it with a friend who might need this reminder. And as always, you can connect with me on social media or through my website. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, God loves you and He is for you. Trust Him and walk in His freedom today.